Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one because we are going to be playing with some new brow products. I'm coming at you completely barefaced today. I just have a little bit of lip gloss on, the Fenty Beauty Hot Chocolate Gloss Bomb, and that is because I have received a PR box from Urban Decay. This is what it looks like. It's coming with their new brow products. There's the Brow Blade, which is not a new product, but I guess they revamped the packaging. And then we have the Big Bush Brow and the Slick Day Brow. And then there's just like a little all-nighter spray there. This model in the promo image has some beautiful brows, but that is not me. As you can see, I have very thin brows. I grew up in the 2000s and I was born with naturally thin brows. Like if you look at my childhood photos, I really only cleaned them up like out here. So this is pretty much what we're working with and what I've always been working with. So I figured who better than myself to test out these products because I don't have a lot to work with. So I think the Big Bush Brow, which is funny, is supposed to be like a fluffier look, and then the Slick Day Brow is supposed to be more sleek. I don't know. I'm gonna read the description. I don't really know what each is supposed to do. The Big Bush Brow, I think, is tinted. Oh, okay. The Slick Day Brow is supposed to give a laminated effect. I don't love the laminated effect, but I could try it for the sake of this video. And the Big Bush Brow does fill, so I think it is tinted. I don't anticipate this being a long video, but you know, might be fun to test some things out, give you my thoughts. I've always wanted to try the Brow Blade, so I'm really excited that I got that in PR. It's always exciting when you get things for free that you were like actually really wanting. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into doing my brows. I don't know if I've done my brow routine on camera in like the last 2 years. Something crazy like that. Like it's been a long time, so we are also overdue for a brow routine, but maybe it'll change once I try these products, so you never know. I also purchased, I'm just going off on a tangent now. I also purchased yesterday the NYX Brow Glue because I've heard really good things about it on TikTok. It's my source of all beauty information is TikTok. So I also purchased that, and I also purchased the NYX Cosmetics Clicky Pen, and that was $18 for a drugstore lip product. Had I known that, I wouldn't have purchased it, but I was already at the checkout and she said $18 and I didn't want to be like, never mind. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to do that. It's kind of embarrassing, but that's not how I would have spent my money had I known that that was the price. Anyway, now without further ado, let's get into trying out these new products. Okay, I've zoomed you in so you can see what I'm doing. Allows you to laminate brows or naturally shaped brows. Okay, so you don't have to do the lamination. I might not. How to use. Starting from the thickest part of your brow, use the comb side of the applicator to coat each hair with the product and lift them upward. Use the flat side to straighten and slick down the hairs in this position. Oh, that's definitely an interesting applicator. This is what the tube is looking like. Okay, so it comes with a comb, but then it also comes with a flat side. Let's just like try it on regular brows like that I haven't filled in to see how easy it is to like achieve a laminated look. Actually, let me read the directions again. I've forgotten like the 3 seconds that I've read that. Okay, right off the bat, and it's better to kind of like tilt the brush to coat the hairs like that instead of like combing it at a 90-degree angle to your skin. And then I heard you're supposed to like comb them to the side so that you don't look like a Wolverine. I personally think that the laminated brows are something that we're gonna look back on and be like, what the hell were we thinking? I feel like that doesn't look that bad though. And I do really struggle to get laminated brows to look half decent on me. Like I always feel like I look like a Wolverine. So I'm actually quite impressed at how easy that was to achieve. And then you can flatten them into the position that you want. Do you find flattening them though? I feel like I move them a little bit. I actually feel like it's easier to maneuver and really achieve that laminated look with the comb. I don't know how much I would use the flat side, but I actually really like that look. For laminated brows, I don't know if I'd rock it like outside of the house, but I've never achieved a brow look that's fluffy that I like quite as much as that. That's exciting. Okay, let's try the other side with this same product and see what it looks like to achieve more of like a slick look, like just to set them in place, I guess. Because I still do like defined brow hairs, just not lifted quite as much. Like laying the comb on its side really coats your hairs in product. But I feel like that really does like define the brow hairs quite nicely. I'd be much more inclined to rock this look as opposed to something like this. But it all depends on your style, you know? Okay, so I'm just removing this product now and I'm going to try the Big Bush Brow and we'll see how much volume I can get without like filling in my brows. I think it was a good idea to test these products before I filled them because then we can really see what each one does on its own. Okay, so the Big Bush Volumizing Tinted Brow Gel comes in 9 shades. The shade I got is Neutral Nana. I picked out my own shades, by the way, so if they're not right, it's not Urban Decay's fault. I just kind of went off of like, they had like a color guide and like this is for blank hair or whatever, so I just kind of went based off that. So this is described as a waterproof tinted eyebrow gel with volumizing fibers that builds, shapes, tints, and keeps your brows in place for up to 24 hours. That's quite a claim. How to use. Brush hairs upwards using the long bristled side of the wand. Back comb brow hairs using the short bristle side of the wand. Wiggle wand back and forth to deposit color onto skin. Forward comb brow hairs to style and lock into place. Use the wand tip to fill in sparse areas. Build volume and tint as desired. That sounds hard. Okay, let's try it. Big Bush Brow. This is what we're looking like for packaging. It's the same as the other one. It just says bush instead of slick. What are they talking about? Long versus short end of the wand. Oh, okay, I guess I kind of see it. So over here is the long side, I guess, and then this is the short side of the wand. Let's see where we're at for color. Oh yeah, that looks like a good color for me. I did well. Or Urban Decay described the color as well. So that is the shade that we're working with. I'm gonna need those directions again. Brush brow hairs upwards using the long bristle side of the wand. Okay, so that's this side. Brush them up. Back comb brow hairs using the short end. Okay. Back comb like this. Oh yeah, okay, I see. It does kind of deposit some color. Wiggle wand back and forth to deposit color onto the skin. Okay, let's try that. I don't know if I'm actually doing a whole lot, which is probably a good thing. Like, you don't want the product to go on too dark, you know? Okay, we'll do that process again to see if we can build it up. See how sparse these areas are here? So use the wand tip to fill in sparse areas. Well, the whole brow is sparse, so. Okay, I'm not very good at this. Kind of messy. I feel like that didn't really work for me. Maybe we'll just use it as kind of a volume tinted brow gel like normally. Like I'll fill them in and just kind of comb this through to see what happens instead of doing the whole teasing technique. Keep in mind, it's not necessarily the product. I'm just not good at tinted brow gels because I never use them. Not to say that tinted are bad, it's just what I'm used to, you know? I have a hard time with change. If we're getting deep. Okay, I think I just need a little cleanup on this side, which at least it's easy to do because I tried that Essence brow product and I couldn't even like clean it up when things got messy and out of control, so I just looked like I had massive brows. Honestly, I don't see a ton of difference except for like depth of color from when I just like ran it through my brows versus really trying to back comb and tint my skin. I don't see a huge difference, except for this one is more pigmented. Let's see how they feel. Oh, they actually feel like they're gonna be held in place pretty well, which I actually wasn't expecting with like a tinted gel. So that's pretty nice actually. And when I ran my fingers over them, there's been no transfer. Let's try it a little harder. I was very gentle the first time. Still no transfer, and I was pretty rough that time, and I don't feel like they've moved. Obviously, if you like go backwards, they'll probably move a little bit, but still no transfer. That's pretty good. If they're gonna make a claim that it's gonna last 24 hours, it should probably be slightly transfer proof. That's so interesting what it looks like when it comes off of your brows. Almost comes off as like a powder. I guess that's like the fibers. Okay, so let's open up the brow blade and give this a shot. I also got the shade Neutral Nana. So this is what it looks like. It looks like they did not give me the new look that's coming soon, which is fine. I'd rather them, you know, use up their current packaging instead of being wasteful. So this is what it looks like currently. I don't know if that's focusing. I can't really tell. But it's going to be similar to these packages, except for it's going to say Blade on it. These retail for $38. However, you get a pen side and you also get a like pencil side versus like the ABH super fine brow pen is $35. The Brow Wiz is $34. The Makeup by Mario is $33. So you really are spending a little bit more money, but you get like a dual of product. So on one side, oh, are they labeled? Oh, they are. Okay. It also says waterproof pencil on this side, which is the side the waterproof pencil is on. And then it says ink stain on the other, which is where the ink is located. It looks like it is a brush tip pen, which I prefer. Not super pigmented, but that's kind of nice. We all saw in my Lottie London video what something too pigmented looks like. And then this is the pencil side, a little bit more pigmented. The only thing is it doesn't come with a spoolie because the other end is taken. I just have this little one that I can use. Hopefully having my mirror doesn't bother you guys too much. I just really need to like get close to a mirror when I'm doing my brows. So I've been using a brow powder recently, just because it's been more like economical for me. I feel like it lasts a lot longer than like a pencil would. I'm just kind of starting out by lining underneath, and then I'm going to fill in my sparse areas just like that. And then what I'm going to do is take my spoolie and kind of brush down so I can see where it needs to be filled on my upper, not lash line, upper brow line, I guess, you know what I mean. So this formula is a little bit stiffer, which I appreciate. I don't like something that's too creamy personally. And then I'm just going to line the top. People say on TikTok that if you want a more natural look, I do find this to be true, especially when I do makeup on other people. If you want a more natural brow, don't line the top. The only issue for that for me is like, I don't really have anything going on. Okay, so now that I've done like my basic shape and shading, I like to clean up with concealer before I use my brow pen. So I'm going to use the ABH Magic Touch Concealer. Ooh, almost dropped it. And to carve those out, I like to use like a little flat brush like that. I don't feel like I need to really carve out my brow a ton on the bottom. I think I did a pretty good job actually. That pencil was nice and precise. And then I do the same thing with the top. I don't know how to do this to allow you guys to see. I just feel like if I don't do the top, it looks a bit messy on me. And it looks so nice on other people. So I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm used to seeing my brows done a certain way. I don't really know. I find it way easier to kind of create my arch shape with concealer as opposed to with pencil because the pencil is darker. Then what I usually do is take the ink side or the pen side and I use this that's like a little bit more precise to kind of fill in my arch and tail, just so it has like a sharper look. And I also use it to fill in the sparse areas where you can tell there's no hairs, but I don't like making it too harsh at the front. I don't know, it's tricky because I don't really have a lot at the front and my brows start a little bit too far in, but I don't want to just like fill it in just straight, if that makes sense, because then I feel like it's like a really harsh looking brow. I do try to fade it out a little bit, and this is where I find it's easier to do with powder. So that is how I usually do my brows. I'm gonna pop off camera and do the other side. I just do it the exact same way, and then I'll come back and we can use the brow slick on one side and the big bush brow on the other side, and I can kind of tell you off the bat which one I like better. And then I'll come back at the end of the day and we can see how each one wore and see if there's like a big difference. So I'm gonna pop off camera and do my other brow and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did my other brow and this is what we're working with. I really like the pen side of the brow blade specifically. It is so nice. It is so precise. I feel like I look like I have brow hairs. Like these at the front here are not brow hairs. I drew those on. on. This side's always a little harder to draw things on. This is kind of my potato brow, I call it. This one has a lot more shape. It's got a better arch. It's more lifted. So I try my best to even them out. But you know, there's only so much I can do when they're like literally on different axes. So now we are going to go for the gels. I think I'm gonna go with the slick on this side because this one has a little more hair, and then I'll try the big bush on this side because this one is a little more sparse. So let's do that right now. So I'm using the big bush brow to kind of set everything into place. I do like that it has defined my hairs a little bit more. So yeah, that's what this one's looking like. This is no gel. This is the big bush brow. Honestly, I don't really notice a ton more volume. I don't know, I don't really feel like it looks like there's more brow hairs. And then we're gonna use the Slick Day Brow on this side. Okay, I'm gonna actually brush them up. Don't like doing because I feel like I'm ruining it. Brush them back into place, kind of with the tip here. I feel like applying this did smear the brow strokes that I did at the front. So maybe next time I would do those after I've set everything. But I feel like in terms of definition, it's defined my brow hairs. I might fill in a little bit right here. I feel like doing the brow pen after is definitely the vibe. So now I know for next time with that product, like really getting in there kind of does disrupt some things. I think I didn't notice that on this side because it is tinted. Okay, and this is the finished brow look. I'll pop off camera and do the rest of my makeup so that these don't look too insane. I feel like they look a little crazy right now. I think based off first impressions, I'm definitely a day slick girl, but I also think it's just kind of the look that you're going after. It's not that the big bush brow is a bad product at all. It's just I don't really have a lot to work with, and big bushy brows have never been what I'm after. So I think that that's just kind of like a product that I wouldn't purchase for myself just based off of preference, not anything wrong with the product. So yeah, that's just my first impression. I'm gonna pop off camera and do the rest of my makeup and we can see how everything's looking. Okay, so this is my completed look. It's like a few hours later. My makeup took literally forever today. I was just so distracted. I was getting snacks and then I was like, I don't know, watching some TikTok and just doing a bunch of stuff. So now, a couple hours later, my makeup is complete, but I have had my brows on for a few hours and like so far so good. Everything looks great. First impression, I really do like the brow blade, especially the ink stain. The waterproof pencil is a little bit waxy for me, I guess because it is waterproof, but waterproof isn't something that I personally need. So I don't know. I don't know if I would spend $38 just for the ink stain, but this is obviously just a first impression. I may grow to love the pencil side as well. It's just not something that I'm used to right off the bat. In terms of these two, I think I definitely, again, off of first impression, enjoy the Slick Day Brow a little bit more. A lot more actually. Tinted brow gels just aren't really my thing, so the big bush brow I didn't find did a ton for me, especially in terms of like making them bushier and making them look bigger. I just don't think that that was, you know, something it did for me. If you intend to use the big bush brow like just on its own without filling in your brows too much like underneath, I think you will definitely have the fuller brow effect. But I just don't personally use eyebrow gels in that way, so it didn't really do that for me. I think it's just all about how you intend to use the product. If you do like the laminated brow look, I do think that the Slick Day is a good product. Maybe I will laminate my brows tomorrow and just wear it around the house so we can see how it wears. I'll probably do that tomorrow just because I don't think that I have tested this to its full potential yet, and I want this to be a helpful video. Okay, my friends, so it is now like 10:30 at night. So I've had these brows on for 10.5 hours. And while a lot of things have not worn well on my face, my brows are not one of them. They look the exact same, not a hair out of place. So I actually really like those brow gels. I think they both worked really well. I think this one might have slightly stronger hold just by like feeling them. This was the brow using the Slick Day. So I do think that one had a little more hold than the big bush. It still makes me chuckle. Okay, so yeah, I will see you tomorrow for a lamination wear test and we'll see how that goes. But so far so good. That lasted a really long time. Okay, my friends, it is the next morning and let's tame some brows. I had a really rough night last night, not gonna lie to you. So I'm not gonna do my makeup, but I am gonna do my brows. Like, just gonna test out the brow gels on their own so we can check in throughout the day. But in terms of makeup, this is kind of what you're stuck with. It was just a rough night. I did a lot of crying. Anyway, let's laminate this brow. So we'll just run the product through. I feel like this makes it a lot easier than something that's in a pot, like the Anastasia Brow Freeze. Because it's all right here, you know? I still totally don't like this look on me, but... Okay, now that I have them set in place the way I want them, I am just gonna kind of push them down a little bit using the backside. Very gently though, so that I don't like move the hairs around. So that's that one. Now let's try the big bush brow on the other brow, and we'll kind of do a hold comparison throughout the day. I do think this one's gonna hold better, but I'm not gonna try to laminate with this gel just because it is tinted. I don't think that's what it was meant for, but I am gonna like brush them upwards and we'll see how the hold is in terms of them staying more upright and fluffier. Okay, so here is our starting point. I'm not gonna fill them in with anything. I just want this to be about the gels. I'm gonna take a photo on my phone so that I can compare later, because I have a feeling I'm gonna forget what they look like. So here's our starting point. So yeah, that's it for right now, and I will come back and check in a few hours. Okay, my friends, so it has been 6 hours, and honestly, I don't think the brows have moved like at all. There was one brow hair here that kind of dropped, but it was literally just one hair, so it might not have even been coated properly. The other side looks good too. Neither of these have moved. In terms of feel, this side, which is the Slick Day brow side, definitely feels more intact, but in terms of look, they look the same as they did when I first applied the product. So far so good. I will check in with you later tonight, probably just before bed, and then we can see what it looks like after, like, I don't know, 12-ish hours? Depends on when I go to bed. Okay, my friends, it is now midnight, so I've been wearing these brow products for 12 hours. And I just wanted to pop on here to say that I think the brows have fallen a little bit on both sides, more so this side, but it's very slight. They're still in pretty good shape considering it's been 12 hours. They still feel like they have pretty good hold. It's more so the tails that are kind of starting to fall a little bit, not so much the fronts. That's a pretty long time if you ask me. I'm sure if you added more product and like really made sure that the brows are like stuck to your face, that will probably improve the longevity as well. I did not do that, so the fact that they're still standing up at attention is quite impressive. So I would give both of these brow products a thumbs up. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for as to which one I would recommend. Overall wear test was successful. And that is it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. I just really appreciate you being here. It helps out my channel so very much by you watching, so thank you. Please leave any video requests you may have in the comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.